Major General Upendra Dwivedi has now said that we want to go back to the status of April 2020, and thereafter they'll be looking at the disengagement, de-escalation and normal management of line of actual control. He has said that this is not a new declaration and this has been the stance since April 2020. He mentioned that the main attempt after this is to restore the trust, and that will happen only once they are able to see each other and convince and reassure that neither of the countries are going into buffer zones. So this is the latest that is coming in after we saw that MEA stated and issued a statement stating that China and India have reached an agreement, a breakthrough agreement that has paved a path to patrolling along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh, and this comes after 2020 the clashes that took place in the Galwan Valley. So we are seeing now that he has General Dwivedi has responded, and he is saying that it's an attempt to restore trust. That let's listen into what he said.
So what does it mean? As far as we are concerned, we were looking at that we want to go back to the status quo of April 2020. Point number one. Thereafter, we will be looking at disengagement, de-escalation, normal management of line of actual control. And this normal management of line actual control will not just stop there. There are phases in that also. So this what I am saying, it has been our stance from April 20 itself, when General Y.K. Joshi was the army commander, and even today that's.
So big statement coming in from General. We heard his statement right now that Major General Upendra Dwivedi, he has responded and he has stated that we want to go back to this April 2020 status. That's the situation that they want to go back to, and this is the stance and the stand that they had earlier also. It's not something new, that this is not a new declaration, but this is a stance that has been since April 2020, and this just comes after India and China, they reached an agreement, a breakthrough agreement, that the patrolling along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh will take place. And now let's listen in once again to what he said and the big statement he has made.
So what does it mean? As far as we are concerned, we were looking at that we want to go back to the status quo of April 2020. Point number one. Thereafter, we will be looking at disengagement, de-escalation, normal management of line of actual control. And this normal management of line actual control will not just stop there. There are phases in that also. So this what I am saying, it has been our stance from April 20 itself, when General Y.K. Joshi was the army commander, and even today that's remains.
We have with us my colleague Ajay Jandal joining us on the telecast. Ajay, big statement by. We also have with us Group Captain UK Devnath joining us on the telecast. He is a defense expert. And now Group Captain UK Devnath, big statement by General Upendra Dwivedi, and he has stated that they want to go back to the status of April 2020, and this comes just after that India and China reached an agreement for patrolling along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh. So what is your take on that?
Definitely, I think General Dwivedi has put the entire subject in correct perspective by saying that India and China must go back to border status quo pre-April 2020. It has to be remembered that LAC must remain cool, calm, stabilized at all times. There should be no suspicious activity on either side of the LAC. So this agreement which was signed yesterday, wherein both the side forces will disengage, probably move back a few kilometers at each patrol point, and resort to organized patrolling till their claim line only after informing the other side. I think it is a big development. See, pre-April 2020, the situation was something like similar, wherein when our patrols used to go, we used to give a pre-intimation to a Chinese side. Similarly, when Chinese side came up to their claim line or up to agreed LAC for patrolling, especially long-range patrolling, they used to give us a kind of a pre-intimation so as to how many Chinese troops will be there, they will come up to which point, and what kind of weapons they are permitted to bring. If we remember correctly, pre-April 2020, lethal weapons were not allowed to be taken up to the last point. So I think it is a confidence building measure, and General Dwivedi has correctly put it that we must go back to those days when calm minds, cool hearts, and a certain amount of brotherly feeling also. I remember the days when we used to exchange gifts with them on Diwali, on Holi, on New Year. So kind of a development towards that direction has taken place yesterday. A big development, yes.
And when it comes to the disengagement talks have been going on for quite some time, so it's not something new. But one of the key things that is coming out of is that the deal is for patrolling in Depsang and Demchok areas, which are key areas. They have strategic and geopolitical and military importance that these areas have. So it's seen as very critical for India, especially Depsang is a very critical area. So what do you think that it means for Ladakh?
Definitely. See, Despang Plains, so we have a very critical place called DBO, Daulat Beg Oldie, which is just north of Despang Plains. And if we go a little more north, then there is a place called Karakoram Pass. Both these areas are strategically very important with us because that side of Karakoram is either China or Pakistan. This side we have got DBO, Daulat Beg Oldie, which India is trying to build as a strategic forward airlift. We have made a runway there where our helicopters and C-130 planes have landed successfully. We would like Depsang Plains in our hand because the road from Durbuk all the way up to Depsang Plains finally leads to DBU. So we want control of that road. Luckily, after yesterday's agreement, Chinese side has agreed for that.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.